Welcome back. It is time for us to continue with the show and to talk to our woman of the day. It is indeed Zuriel Oduwole, and we're hoping to get to her on the phone. All right, Zuriel is on the line. Great to have you. Hello, Zuriel.
Ikasa, Nigeria. Ekike Oma, Nigeria. Akaderana, Nigeria. Afni, Nigeria. How y'all doing?
Well,
We are
very well.
great.
Thank you very much, Zuriel.
Zuriel, she dadani. I cannot match by any way, your cocktail of languages, but I know Yoruba quite well and perhaps a squeeze of Pidgin English as well. All right, Zuriel, you're very welcome. Thanks again for joining us. It is your second time being on our show, and we're really glad and excited to have you again. Now, we know that you're up to new fantastic work. Could we, tell us since the last time you came here and now what you've been up to in the interim?
Well, it's just about finished summer break over here in Los Angeles, so I've been doing a lot of production work in my latest documentary because I'm sure, as you know, I'm a filmmaker.
Yes.
And this is my fifth documentary, and it should be coming out either later on this year or early next year.
So, Zuriel, what issues are you addressing in this documentary? What issues? Yes. What's the focus of this documentary?
Change the world.
To change the world?
Yeah, that's correct.
All right, and how do you hope to change the world? Because that's such a big statement.
Exactly.
Well, I think first I'm starting to speak to children about the importance of education.
Okay.
I think that if the next generation of children are educated, then they will do a lot more when they get older, and they'll have a brighter future, and they themselves can go out and affect the world. And I always speak to them about the importance of dreaming, because without dreams, then they can't have vision. So I tell them it's very important. If you want to do something, when you get older, you have to first have dreams.
That's fantastic.
Okay, fantastic.
Now, from your point of view, Zuriel, what would you say when you were younger, or even now, what your biggest dream is?
That's a good question. I think biggest dreams would be that when I get much, much older, I want to become the President of the United States of America, because I want to have a positive effect on the policies that are created around the world, especially on the African continent.
All right, that's fantastic.
Great. So, Zuriel, this your latest documentary. I mean, it's very remarkable. You seem to be a sort of superhero, changing the world one step at a time. What countries did you focus on?
Well, this documentary I'm currently producing, it's called 1 + 2 + 3 = 29,000.
1 + 2 + 3.
I know those numbers don't add up, but basically what it is it's me, one girl, taking 2 footballs, 3 continents, to get people talking about education. So we shot this documentary in the U.S., in Brazil, Ethiopia, Nigeria, and then Mauritius. And basically we got governors, ambassadors, football players, and football fans to sign the ball saying that they supported education.
That's great. Fantastic. Now, Zuriel, I know that you worked extensively with a number of people in education. All right?
Yeah. Yes, Zuriel, you've worked with quite a number of people in education. So what are we expecting to see? Hello?
Well, I do work with a lot of people in education. Mostly, I speak to presidents and prime ministers, now in total 19, about the importance of creating policies to make sure that the children in their countries, but more importantly, the girls in their countries, have a chance to go to school and get an education. And also how it's important to support the girls in their countries, because if they're supported, then they're more likely to succeed. So some of them interviewed include the presidents of Kenya, South Sudan, Liberia, and just recently, President Muhammadu Buhari.
Oh, great. So when are we expecting the documentary out? When is it going to be launched?
This documentary should be coming out probably around December this year.
Oh, fantastic.
Because I'm sure, production could take a lot of work.
We definitely can't wait to do that. So on the side, apart from your projects and your advocacy, what else have you been up to?
Well, I've actually been playing a lot this summer. Just recently, I joined a soccer league. So our games start in September, I believe. So I'm doing a lot of practice right now.
Yeah, then I noticed you've been writing opinion pieces for some newspapers. How's that going? Is it a Guardian newspaper?
I become a contributor to the Guardian newspaper.
Oh, yes.
Newspaper, and I want to give some input on how I, as a youth, see certain things.
From your perspective, yes.
From my perspective, yes.
Fantastic.
Fantastic. Now, you also were mentioned in the Forbes magazine as one of the influential Africans, and particularly as a young woman. In fact, I find calling you a woman.
She was the youngest person ever interviewed by Forbes magazine.
Oh, by Forbes. What was the experience like? Could you tell us what the experience was like? And, how did Forbes approach you, and for what reasons, in terms of what grounds?
Well, I'm not sure. I'm guessing that in 2013 and now in 2016, probably because of the work I did in girls' education and how I was trying to create documentaries to help rebrand the African continent. But still, I don't do the things that I'm doing to get recognition like this in the Forbes magazine or in any other magazines. I do what I'm doing because I want to have a positive effect and a positive impact on the lives of the next generation.
Fantastic. That's amazing. Now, in terms of the young girls you've worked with, what do you think? I mean, we just spoke about the story in South Africa about young African girls who protested because of the way that they were told not to wear their hair, and they thought it was really racist. This was during school. Like Gbenga mentioned, it had nothing to do with their learning, but they still found it as an issue. What do you think are some of the biggest challenges that young girls like you in many parts of Africa face in education? What are the challenges they face in education?
In education, I think that for one, usually, because on the African continent, if there's not that many resources, the boys get them first ahead of the girls, which means that the girls usually stay at home and aren't educated. And that means they'll have less options in life when they get older. So I think that's one thing, not sending the girls to school to get an education. But also, there can be some discrimination because in a lot of countries, still today, girls aren't seen as equals to boys. I think that we have to definitely rewrite that narrative.
All right, fantastic. Well done. Thank you very much. All right. Thank you so much, Zuriel, for speaking to us this afternoon. We're really grateful. Now, just before we let you go, I'd like to ask you what the future holds for you. What project should we expect from you? What are you up to, if you're willing to share with us?
And are you also optimistic about the future of the African girl child?
Yes, of course. I'm looking to continue doing my Dream Up stand-up project and speak to a lot more girls in a lot more African countries about the need to stay in school and get educated, but then also speaking to more heads of state and tell them the importance and why they need to educate the girl child in the country. And then also in the future, I'll be looking to do my own TV show.
Okay.
Oh,
and what would your
nice.
TV show be focused on? I hope you'll be on Wazobia TV, Wazobia Max. But what would your TV show be focused on? Hello, Zuriel?
Yeah, hello.
What would your TV show be focused on?
It could be focused on a number of things. It could be focused on education. It could be focused on filmmaking. So we'll see. We'll see.
All right, fantastic. Well
We wish
done.
you all the best with that and more. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure talking to you, Zuriel. I'm sure it's very early in Los Angeles, where you're reaching us from.
Yes, yes, indeed. Thank you.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure having you on Hello Nigeria.
Yes, yes, indeed. Thank you very much, Zuriel. All right, guys, we've just spoken to the very young and amazing star and talent, Zuriel Oduwole, who has been gracious enough to call in or to speak to us in from America, all the way in America, very early in the morning, but still very sharp and bright. Thank you so much, Zuriel. We hope that those who are watching out there have been inspired and would want to do more. I wish you could. I'm sure you saw her picture scrolling on your TV screen, so you see just how young this girl was.
And that's actually volunteering.
Yes.
I mean, it keys into what we've been discussing since, taking time out to share your time with children around the world, and of course, taking their course to those who can, the higher ups who can effect the change that affects the lives of this millions of female around the world.
Yes, indeed. Fantastic. Well done, Zuriel. We're really proud of you, and we do hope that when you come to Nigeria, we'll be able to have you here on our show. All right, guys, this is where we take a quick break. When we come back, we continue the show, but this time we open the phone lines to get you talking. We've spoken to Zuriel. She's one woman who is doing phenomenal things across Africa. You could be that one person who wants to or already has started doing phenomenal things in your own space. This is the time to call us after this break. That a man or a boy child is much more valuable than a female child, just like what you were saying. That
yeah, but thank goodness for great people like Zuriel, and of course, fantastic women like Ayo Thompson and the others.
You're so kind.
Ayo Thompson, Aisha Sise, Christina Mampo,
Oliver
Angela
Modi.
Merkel, Theresa May, women doing very great things in the world. So we could see that, look, there's no difference between, we're all human beings at the end of the day.
Yes.
We strive for different goals, and we can actually fulfill it if we put the work.
So what do you think in Nigeria in particular? Because you rightly mentioned that unfortunately in some parts of Nigeria, there's still this discrimination against the girl child, thinking that the girl child isn't worth as much as if you could put a price on a child anyway, but as if the girl child's value is not as that of the male child. How can we start to change that thinking and shift mindsets in terms of these thoughts?
Enforcement. A lot has to be done from the government, not just paying lip service. I believe education is free at primary school level.
Yes.
Across all states in the federation.
Yes.
But a lot of parents still don't send their kids to school. I think the Kaduna State government passed a law or directive recently saying that parents that fail to send their children to school would face some form of fine or punishment. And I believe that's a good start in the right direction. And of course, also, and labor laws. They should enforce labor laws. A lot of these kids don't go to school. They're used as hands in factories, and they're hawking on the street and all of that. They need to enforce that, because it's illegal for children under the age of, under a certain age to work.
Yes, indeed. Now, remember, guys, if you're watching at home and you'd like to contribute to this discussion, if you have girl children or you are a girl child yourself, perhaps you'd like to call us in. But also even for the men as well, because at the end of the day, we have parents, male and female, and they're the ones who make the decision concerning the girl child. Now, one of the ways that we can also change this mindset is by promoting more female role models. It was fantastic for you to mention the real or women achievers and see that. I mean, look at Zuriel. She didn't have to be born a man for her to make her parents proud, or for her to be the youngest person being featured or interviewed by Forbes magazine, or for her to have interviewed over 19 heads of state and presidents of different countries across the world, including the president of Nigeria. You don't have to be a man for that. You can be a woman and still do great things. So one of the ways is that we need to keep pushing these women who are influential in their own field. We have women like Shola David Bora. We have women like Bola Adeshola. We have women like
Kemi
Adeosun. We have women like Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. We have women like Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. We have so many women
in different,
out there.
I mean, engineering, in every field you can think of. Medicine, they're doing fantastic things. So if you give your girl child that opportunity, she has the potentials to reach she could be a head of state, anything she dares to dream about. So let's not relegate the girl child to the background.
Yes, indeed. Do not relegate the girl. And if you need to, Google is your friend. Google, and you see, and that inspires you to know that what your boy child can do, your girl child can equally do. So no one is better than any other one. They are both equipped with great skills, intellect, and of course, and willpower to do the impossible if they do.
Gone are the days. We're not in the 12th century where people have to practice subsistence farming to feed. So you need more hands on the farm.
Yes.
No, we've gone past that age. We have a call from Augustine from Apapa, I believe. Hello, Augustine.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. You're welcome to Hello Nigeria. Go ahead and talk to us.
Okay, I really like the topic this afternoon, and I would say the growth and the development of the grandchild in Nigeria is something that the government needs to really do something as in terms of like an emergency situation concerning, so that the gap between the perspective that we are having towards the girl child, we just really have changed, like seriously, because even the old time that we know that parents spend more time and their resources to develop the male child, and believing that the girl child is like ending in the kitchen and they don't need much attention concerning their education and care. It's changing seriously. Because the developing world now, women are into different things now that is contributing seriously to the growth of the nation and the building up of the society in large. So I believe the government should try and do something to bring the girl child, the gap between the girl child and the male closed, so that that whole the idea and perspective will just be
all right.
Then secondly, in terms of the labor law, and also they need to also amend it, because like we have a kind of an old age labor law system, and
all right, Augustine.
we need to do seriously. And
thank you very much, Augustine, for calling. I do like what he said, that the government needs to declare a state of emergency or some form of affirmative action on bridging the gap between the male child, the female child, and the male.
I'm all for affirmative action. I'm very much up for that.
To enjoy more of these our Ogbonge videos when you just watch, press this button to subscribe on top of our YouTube page. You go love her.